Salts Worksheet 3, Question 6a, Part 3. Explain why the filtrate is heated before it's allowed to cool slowly. So the reason why we heat it up is to ensure the copper 2 sulfate solution is saturated. So that is important, if not the crystals will not appear. Then, after it's saturated, why do we allow it to cool? We allow it to cool for crystals to appear, and if we cool it slowly, the crystals will appear bigger. For part B, it says write a balanced chemical equation for the above reaction. So before we do that, we write the word equation so we know what's happening. So what happened was we added copper 2 carbonate to sulfuric acid. So this is a metal carbonate and acid reaction. So I get copper 2 sulfate plus water plus carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so once that is done, copper 2 carbonate, to get the chemical formula, copper 2 means Cu2 plus, carbonate you memorize is CO3 2 minus. The charges are balanced, so it's CuCO3. Sulfuric acid you have to memorize, which is H2SO4. Copper 2 nitrate, copper 2 means Cu2 plus. Nitrate you have to, sulfate you have to memorize, SO4 2 minus. So you get CuSO4. Water is by memory, H2O. Carbon dioxide, 1 carbon dioxide means 2 oxygen, CO2. So that is the chemical formula for all the substances in the reaction. You write it down. CuCO3 plus H2SO4 arrow CuSO4 plus H2O plus CO2. Then you need to check if the equation is balanced. So copper 1 each is balanced. Carbon 1 each is balanced. Oxygen 3 plus 4, that is 7. 4 plus 1 plus 2, that gives us 7 as well, so it's balanced. Hydrogen 2, balanced. Sulfur 1, sulfur 1. So this equation is a balanced chemical equation. So that would be the answer for part B. Okay, we look at the last part of the question, which is part C. Okay, so it says suggest 2 other reagents which can react with dilute sulfuric acid to produce the same salt. So what we have here was copper 2 sulfate. It's a soluble salt that is not SPA. So there are 3 reactions, either acid plus insoluble excess metal, acid plus insoluble excess metal carbonate, or acid plus insoluble base, which is a metal oxide or a metal hydroxide. So acid plus metal carbonate is what was in that reaction. They use copper 2 carbonate. How about acid with metal? Copper is an unreactive metal, so we can't use acid and metal as well. So we're left with the last choice, which is acid plus base, meaning metal oxide and metal hydroxide. So since our salt is copper 2 sulfate, our metal oxide will be copper 2 oxide, our metal hydroxide will be copper 2 hydroxide. So these are the 2 reagents that can react with sulfuric acid.